Absolute Flash, issue 10, Jeff Lemire writing with Nick Robles on the art. So last issue ended with the whole like blowing the rogues out the sky, but they were protected. They were saved by Groot, or not Groot. Grodd. That's a
Grodd?
Weird slip of the tongue. Yeah, they're saved by Grodd.
I am Grodd.
I am Grodd, yes. Meanwhile, it seems like Eleanor's sort of like expecting Wally to come in and is almost counting on it to achieve whatever nefarious plan she has. And that's kind of what we get here when Wally speeds off to go to the lab. Meanwhile, the rogues are dealing with the fact that a heat wave has shown up to take them on, so they're dealing with that.
Yeah.
And just to sort of skip ahead to the end of that, that ends up being Weather Wizard making his big appearance to help them, but put them out.
In the ranking of the rogues, I would always put Weather Wizard down towards the bottom. This version here he actually looks like a wizard. I feel like this is something they should have done years ago in mainline continuity.
What's Weather Wizard's real name?
Oh shoot, is it Martin? Is it Mark Martin?
Martin, you're a wizard, Martin.
I think so. Yeah, right.
That was the whole joke I wanted to make.
But yeah, you're good. But no, he looks like Gandalf here. He's got the staff across his back, and I was like, man, if he's this cool, if he keeps being this cool, it's gonna jump up my favorite rogues list here. But yeah, the way that he strikes the lightning and makes it rain, and it calms heat wave down, and we see like he's still a human, right? So he hasn't fully like transformed like I had thought, right? Like he was this creature, so that's a bit not head scratching in a bad way, but I was like, oh, what is Thawne doing to these people?
I don't know, anything and everything seemingly, given all the different powers and tools they've got. But yeah, so Wally goes in and immediately he's kind of affected by like timey-wimey stuff, where he starts seeing like sort of like echoes of the past but also echoes of the future, because he sees himself talking to Barry when he first met him, like walking down the hall, and they're kind of all in yellow to denote that there's kind of like a flashback echo. But then he also sees in red or orange, like more of a future echo, which it looks like himself looking kind of like roughed up and saying that he messed up, he's got a bloody nose, and it feels like, oh, this is in the future, teasing that something bad's happened. So I really like that, because that was like a kind of I think by showing you the past echo first, you understood what the other one was. It's like, oh, this is probably the future. Yeah. So he's having this like weird timey-wimey kind of effect happening. But yeah, so obviously there's more fighting with the rogues outside, building up to the Weather Wizard bit. But when Barry gets to when Wally, I should say, gets to the big scientific experiment that might be leading to the Speed Force or whatever, although Eleanor calls this place the Still not the Force, what would you call it? Still World?
Still Place?
Still something like that.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of like fighting Trickster as she's getting involved with Grodd, and Wally's dodging out the way and stuff. But he hears his name being called from this big portal, and a hand's reaching out saying Wally, and he's like, oh, it's Barry's in there, I can get Barry out. So he reaches out to take the hand, and you can actually see his dad, he's screaming Wally don't from the other room. And sure enough, what comes out is this big flaming electric sort of form of Thawne. It's Eobard Thawne is coming out of the portal, and when he comes out, he throws Wally back into the portal. In fact, he quotes Highlander. He looks up at his granddaughter and says, yep, there can be only one, and throws Wally back into the portal, so he's the only speedster. So the issue ends with Wally in this place, which has got lots of like broken beams and like a sort of red void. But then, of course, he turns around and there's a sort of red Speed Force looking version of Barry saying, welcome home. Also,
yep,
an alien, like a Salic kind of alien.
Yeah. Looking like one of the ones that we had seen in the fort, right? In Thawne's lab.
Yeah. But with like a hat on, I think, and glasses.
Yeah. Looking a bit dapper, I would say.
She looks like she's like a lady in like a detective novel from like the 40s. Yeah. Like in terms of the outfit, right, but a Salic like
a bit
alien.
Yeah. I was thinking a bit Carmen Sandiego. a little bit.
Yes,
going on
Sally
here.
cosplaying as Carmen Sandiego. That's what this looks like.
Yes. So it's called the Still Point. Is
Still
what she called
Point.
it.
That's what it's called. The Still Point.
Yes. And yeah, and then when Wally goes here, there's like this weird energy thing also there. It's kind of like a fish, I would say. That's what it's closest looking. It's in between him and Barry up there, and it's speaking some weird language. So yeah, definitely I would say I don't have something to compare this to. It's weird. Like, yeah,
I mean, is that something that's here just like Barry is because it's in the same color of red, or is that like a thing that's native to this place?
Right. I don't know. And yeah, but no, Thawne coming out looking like that too. This is the scariest, I think, any Speed Force thing I've seen. You know, he's very grotesque. He looks like he's just made up of energy wisps. You know, almost like kind of like blood too.
He looks kind of like a Speed Force version of like the Floronic Man to me. That's the kind of like shape his body has. Yeah.
And yeah, it can only be wood, and just the single panel of Eleanor's eye too, almost like, oh, we messed up, right? That's what that told me, you know. Yeah, man. I mean, maybe, this is wild.
I assume she wanted to find her grandfather, but maybe this is teasing that she wasn't expecting him to come out like this. At least not, or maybe he's just scarier than she was expecting. Maybe she thought, oh, I'll find my grandfather and he'll be like an old Nazi or something. But no, this is like he's a monster, like a more literal monster. Obviously, he'd still be a monster if he was a Nazi, but you know what I mean. Yes, but
he physically resembles a monster instead of just being one on the inside.
Yes.
And yeah, just so that, and then the connection between Grodd and apparently his dad, right? Because that's what they go on looking for.
Yes,
is his dad and Wally's dad, and him not being there, you know, and just that connection between him and Wally. I like that as well. That it continues to drive them together. Because knowing Grodd, I'm always expecting the worst because of the whole mind game aspect, but I'm starting to feel here the rogues aren't the rogues as we know them. I feel like they're going to be more anti-heroes more than anything, and I feel like Lemire's going to build out the rogues. Yeah, he's going to build out the actual rogues gallery with actual weird, bad, you know, new characters.
And to be fair, they're kind of doing that in Absolute Batman with some of his rogue gallery being more anti-heroes than straight up villains. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're doing that with the rogues as well.
Yeah, but Robles art and the coloring, I do love all the reds, yellows, pinks, oranges going together. It makes it feel warm and hot. You know, like there's a lot going on.
When he's going into the still point, there is a little bit of those like red, like straight lines. I mean, it's not just that. There's also a lot of craggly stuff as well, but there is a little bit of that like style from the early issues of what the speed movement was supposed to look like. So there's a little bit of that still kind of sprinkled in there. So I like the little bit of consistency with that. No, I mean this was enjoyable, I thought, because I mean, I don't think it's like a complete knockout at the park still, and that's kind of how I mean I think this entire Absolute book has felt compared to the other ones, but I do think that, you know, we're definitely hitting more interesting stuff with like getting to Thawne coming out of the still point and, you know, the rogues being these allies. Like, I think it's starting to like really take shape over the. I mean, I don't think I like it as much as the last. I think that issue where it was teasing Weather Wizard at the start with the storm. Yeah, that was probably my favorite issue of this book so far. But this was pretty good. I
feel like this one's rounding into shape now, and I think that might have just been my expectations because it's Flash and it's Lemire. But I do like the story that they're telling here, and it weirdly feels like when I used to read the Ultimate books early on. This one feels the most like an Ultimate Flash book because like the Absolute books have their own kind of defining characteristic. This one just feels like it's Lemire during this new version of Flash because we still don't know the full rules. Like with Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, we're established to the rules at this point. Even Green Lantern with Oa and the different, you know, things there. It still feels like there's a lot up in the air with what the Speed Force is and how it's used and everything here, but I almost admire Lemire's patience for getting this far, and we still have this mystery around it. So, and while we're going through that, at least the character work is landing. Because again, I like Captain Cold, right? Like I want more of him. There's this air to him. Like, oh, this he's actually an honorable man, and he's just mixed up in Thawne's machinations here. So
and they're against Thawne. Like, you know, they're like, hey, we have to stop Thawne from taking all these gifts back because, you know, especially you know, Lisa, like, you know,
right?
She won't have her legs if they take them back. So.
And that whole point with the Trickster being on Thawne's side still, because of it seems like Trickster is likes the gifts too much, right?
Yeah.
Like,
also, it works with the name Trickster. That was the one not to trust. Trust, you know, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just I'm admiring Lemire's patience here for this storytelling more so than in his other DC book, which is JSA, right, where it was feeling like, all right, let's get on with it. Here, it's coming, you know, easy as it goes, I guess we can say.
It's still not peak Lemire, but it's definitely the much better of the two books he has at DC right now. I think that's, you know, without question. So, what are you giving Absolute Flash issue 10?
I'm going to give this an 8.5.
I'm just going to go with a solid 8 out of 10 for me. Having a good time. It's not amazing, but it's pretty great. So I'm digging it.